Okay, so what does all this mean in relation to a complaints process for us that is human rights compliant? First, we know now that anybody that we provide service to, if they do not feel as though their human rights have been properly considered, or if their human rights have been breached, violated is a word that is sometimes used, people are entitled to lodge a complaint with the Queensland Human Rights Commission. They can't do that straight away, though. There are various steps that need to be taken before that happens. And the first key step, obviously, is that a person has to have internally complained to the organisation and then wait 45 days for that complaint to be addressed. If the complaint isn't adequately dealt with, or if a response is just not provided, then that, after 45 days, gives a person the ability to go to the Commission and lodge an external complaint. The Commission is able to accept complaints more quickly than that, and that's in exceptional circumstances. That is often in situations where a delay is going to cause significant harm or deprive somebody of an effective remedy. The Commission gives an example of kids being expelled from public schools, and if that decision's going to impact on graduation or exams, they would expedite that complaint. It is possible that a threatened eviction, for example, might be grounds for exceptional circumstances, and things might move more quickly than is the usual course of action. The Human Rights Commission is expected to give help to people to facilitate their complaints, because those complaints at the Commission level need to be in writing, and they need to be lodged within a year of the allegation of a human rights breach. There is a really easy and accessible online portal that the Commission has on its website to facilitate people lodging complaints. And then once that complaint is received by the Commission, they will assess it and examine it closely, and then they might hold a private conciliation conference to bring the parties together. That is a compulsory meeting where they will try and get everybody to reach agreement. So that is what happens sort of externally. The question for us is, well, how can we address complaints in a way that isn't going to be escalated to the Commission? Good for the Commission, and certainly good for us and good for our clients as well. So we're going to we really need to think about our complaints handling and management within our own organisations, and what adjustments to our existing complaints policies and procedures might make them better aligned to human rights. Of course, people on the line already have strategies and vision statements that go to client care, and that probably do promote human rights in effect, but it might be the case that it hasn't yet been explicitly woven into how your processes happen in kind of real time. Obviously, people work across multiple regulatory frameworks, including NERSH and HSQF, but the Human Rights Act now gives us an opportunity to really kind of strengthen our internal policies and practices in addition to those existing frameworks that we already work within. So reviewing not just our complaints processes and policies, but actually all of our policies through a lens of human rights can encourage embedding the language of human rights into those existing policies that impact on service delivery. So in the context of housing and homelessness, this is likely to include our policies on service access, service eligibility, our case management frameworks, our privacy and our information management policies, remembering, of course, there's that right to privacy, and so on. it pings really back to also the right to recognition and equality before the law, thinking about whether our complaints processes are readily available and accessible, and handling of complaints in a way that is accountable and transparent, and whether or not a complaints process aligns now with the 45-day requirement, the timeframe under the Act. An adjustment to a complaints policy might necessitate adjusting those other policies and procedures, and your additional staff training can really complement that too. I hope that's given people, a bit of a macro snapshot. I will put myself on mute now and hand it back to my co-pilot, who will take us into the nuts and bolts.
Thank you, Monica. Again, a lovely, great overview of the Act and the things that we're thinking about today as we're thinking more closely about our complaints processes. So we're just going to take a few moments to think less about the Act and a little bit more about processes and procedures and how that interacts with other things that are happening in your organisation, and how that is going to actually work for the people that we're hoping will make some complaints, so you can have that dialogue and they can be resolved in a really efficient manner. We'll just go to the first slide. Around continuous improvement. So I know for a lot of you, you will be very well versed in the continuous improvement mantra that we have, and it's a really important one. And I'm keen for people to just reflect on the opportunities that your complaints process and your continuous improvement process could interact together. Some of when you're thinking about your complaints process, this is an opportunity, as you know, to sort of really see the delivery of your services through the perspective of those service users. And when you're thinking about it as an opportunity for continuous improvement and the identification of opportunities to improve your service, just think about the approach that you might be taking. So this is just an opportunity, I guess, to take a moment and reflect on how your policies and procedures link together. Linking a complaint through your continuous improvement process just gives you the opportunity to not have to think about all the things you need to continuously improve yourself, and sort of let some of that stuff flow from those people that use your services, because you are truly and wholly busy delivering services, planning, executing and reviewing the changes that are made through your continuous improvement process. So just remember that they're both operational procedures. They both need to be administered sustainably and on an ongoing basis. So it's not one big project and then you sort of pop it on a shelf. It's actually something that is sort of living inside your organisation. So again, I'm going to use a sustainable word and make sure that as you're designing your process, you're thinking about how that works sustainably, and also how it circles back into your organisation with your workforce development and other practices and processes. I wanted to just highlight a few people that are doing accessibility and sort of helping overcome the barriers that people experience in accessing some of their processes. And so I've just got a slide here with just a few snippets from people's websites. So I've pulled up Caxton Legal Centre. This one's a great example. It explains in really simple language that people do have the right to make complaints. And this might be people's intent, but they've put it into words. And I really love that about this particular website. And it also even provides examples of things that people might want to complain about. And I think that feels quite welcoming when I read that. It offers a number of options for people to make complaints. They, in written form, through letters or an online form. You can also call and speak to somebody, and you can also meet with their CEO. I think another really important aspect of what they've done on their website is that they've actually identified their CEO as the person that receives these complaints. So it is very clear when you're making a complaint that this organisation will take your complaint seriously, and who is actually within this organisation is going to be handling and resolving this particular issue and have oversight of it. So this is where their complaints procedure also links into their governance and how they've established their operational governance within their organisation. And it's also worth mentioning they have that translate option throughout their whole website. Another one, which will be unsurprising to all of us, QDN, our great partners across the river there, they have done a great job also. They have the translate function throughout their whole website. They also have the audio where web pages can be read to you, and they also have a font resizer. So if you have trouble reading things at particular fonts, it will you can adjust it to suit your needs. So I think there's some really great technology ideas there that might help with accessibility. Just hopefully some tips and tricks for you. One thing working in the housing homelessness space, as you guys would all be aware of, there's quite a few barriers that we do need to overcome, and accessibility is just part of that, of those barriers. We do have a systemic power imbalance in our area of work. The people that are requiring our services really do need housing and supports, and we obviously supply housing to those that we can, and that creates a power imbalance in the relationship. And that's something we just need to be aware of, that we're trying to overcome that hurdle when we're trying to open up communications with people so that we're getting productive, really successful open discussions, resolving and accepting and understanding where complaints and limitations exist in how people are experiencing our services. The other concept I want to leave you guys with before we pop you into the next breakout session is around the pressure up type system, as opposed to the pressure down onto people who are trying to use and access our services. So what aspects, when we are designing these processes, do you think we could put in that actually alleviates the pressure from those people, from those service users, and just tries to make our processes just that little bit easier and a little less stressful to access?